Our place started actually more than 5 years ago when the lottery was looking at where in the country was applying for lottery funding, and they identified 7 areas that don't traditionally apply for lottery funding for whatever reason. With our place, what they wanted was for the community to really take ownership of how that money was spent. So alongside the £1.5 million, the lottery asked for community builders like ourselves to come in and help the community. In the beginning, our role was much more hands-on, and then when we identified people in the community who could be active and who could become our core group of community connectors, we've been able to step back and move into more of a facilitation role.
So my name's Angela Gilmore and I'm the chairperson of LIFT, Lochside is Families Together. I am a community connector that lives in Lochside. I'm Lochside born and bred. Everybody kens me and I more or less ken everybody that comes to me for help and stuff.
My name's Dean Goddard. I'm the Association Manager with Dumfries YMCA. The YMCA were involved right from the start with the Our Place project on the Lochside area. We have led on the project to develop a park at Glentrawl, and that's been really interesting for all of us, a long process.
My name's Dean Moore. I am the Physical Activity Development Officer for Lincluden and Lochside, to give my full title. And I plan, develop and deliver the Let's Get Sporty project in this area. I lived in Lincluden my whole life, and I went to school in Lochside at St Ninian's Primary and Max High. Both my mum and my dad, they grew up here as well. So I lived my whole life in this area. So you get the opportunity to kind of work in this area, kind of be part of a project which is making such an impact in the area, has been brilliant.
Yeah, my name is Lee McQueen and I'm the Creative Development Worker for the Creative Futures project, Lochside and Lincluden. Basically at the heart of it is about being creative and making sure there's opportunities in Lochside and Lincluden to be creative.
I've been involved with Our Place through Lincluden Community Centre and Popeyes Park, and I think that it's just brought us together. Today it's the gala for LIFT. LIFT have organised it, which is Lochside is Families Together. I think this is the 3rd gala, if I'm correct, and I'm a volunteer with LIFT. There used to be galas in all the smaller housing estates, and LIFT has brought back the gala to Lochside.
We obviously, Lochside Gala's a huge thing in this area and work very closely with LIFT, and we always try to make quite a big presence at that. That's one of the things, it's our first big thing of the summer programme, so we always try to make sure we have a range of different activities. And again, it's just to get people thinking differently and having a go at something that they might not have did. We had festival jewellery making, there was ordinary face paints just for kids if you just wanted a bit of colour. Then we had upcycling the clothes, so Victorian rough making. Magnet making, which always seems to go well. A sort of play on like sort of Britain's top model and American top model. We've got North West and Free's next top role model. We're voting for people that are their role models. What do they see as a role model? Who helps them, especially in the community setting? People get to tell us who they're voting for and why they're voting for them, whether it's kindness, whether they're supportive, whatever it is. That's also competition, and at the end somebody or a couple of people will win a couple of prizes about that, but it's more about looking at taking people away from social media and just a break, and let's look at connecting with people again.
This will be our 3rd year. Our place has made a huge impact in the difference for what we started with LIFT to what we have now. We were awarded in 2017 the £10,000 award for all from the lottery. That was what was like the catalyst to us becoming what we are at the minute. We were able to hold the first gala in Lochside for 30 years. We had 1,500 people come onto the field that day, and it was all families, all ages. We had the kids, the parents and the grandparents, and they were actually talking about how amazing it was to see a gala again, because we hadn't had that, like I said, for 3 decades.
We used it as a vehicle to reintroduce the community to Glentrawl Park. It was probably the biggest aspect that came out from the community surveys, that people wanted play facilities and park facilities. Glentrawl's an interesting one because what was there and is still there is a huge grassed area with nothing at all. There was a small play park there, but barely a pimple on the size of the field. We were able to promote the project at the gala, but it also started that process of showing the community we were going to do something for them and that there was going to be something that people could be involved in. And I think that was absolutely huge. And then to see that continue and plans for it to continue into the future, I think is fantastic for the area. It's really, really good to see. And I think on the back of that, other things will happen.
And Glentrail Park was a big, massive part of your upbringing. So in the marsh area especially, we've got all this wildlife. So we have sticklebacks, we've got a wee burn with sticklebacks in it. Seeing that we've got the funding for Glentrail is absolutely phenomenal. Look at a brand spanking new park for Waynes with disabilities and that, as well as able-bodied kids. That straight off the bat is huge for our area. We actually identified 2 8-year-old kids leaving Lochside to go all the way down Kinnamkey to use the skate park. So for anybody that doesn't come from here, Lochside to Kinnamkey is a good few mile away, and these kids were going there. Now they got to have it on their own doorstep. Absolutely phenomenal. And then the mugger to help folk get fit in that and all, and even the Ollians can use that. So you've no idea what a difference this has got to make to your area. Like, it's got to be great.
With Popeye's Park, I would say for 30 odd years we've looked and looked and looked and never been able to get any money. At the moment we've been secured the funding to do some much needed maintenance work. We're going to have the bridge repaired after it was vandalised. We're going to have a zip wire, which I can't wait for, and we're going to have a climbing frame thing, but it's all natural because anybody that knows Popeyes, it's a beautiful natural park. But I think the big thing is it's going to allow us as well accessibility. People in wheelchairs or pushing buggies, it gives them access to that. There's also going to be, on the hill, there's going to be a slide, but it's going to be built into the hill. If you were in a wheelchair, we've insisted that you can actually access this slide and the zip wire. What we've already got there is going to be looked at and maintained. It's going to make such a massive difference. The investment in the buildings as well, I think, has been so important. I think for places like Lincluden Community Centre, what it's done is it's allowed us to renovate the building, and I know it's made a big difference to other organisations as well. Like Let's Get Sporty, we've got them in our community centre, which we probably wouldn't have had. And also Lochside and Lincluden Creative Futures, they're in Lincluden Community Centre as well. And to be honest, without that project, we would be struggling, big style, to rent out these rooms.
We've got classes for toddlers as young as 18 months. We've got stuff for primary age group. We're working with different organisations to provide classes for kind of teenage years. As well as that, we've also got adult classes. So we're on adult keep fit class. We've got some older adult activities. So we've visited a number of different care homes in the local community, which allow us to go and do some sit-down sports with them guys. As well as that, we've also got a trainee programme, which I think a lot of people just see when they think of Let's Get Sporty. They see the red jumpers and the baggy balls and us out delivering in the playing fields and going doing sport, whereas the trainee programme is probably the biggest part of Let's Get Sporty. That's the area where we kind of get young people in, provide them with some training and experience in the workplace, looking to kind of build on loads of transferable skills like customer service and marketing, and really building the trainee programme is really unique, that it's unique for everybody that's on it. It's not just one programme that's there for you, it's very much built around your goals and what you're looking to achieve.
Our main time we put a lot of effort into is the summer programme, and we make that extend further than the actual school holidays. We take it right from the start of school holidays at the end of June till the end of September to encompass some of the bigger things like Nithraid and the Day of the Region, which is in September. And we're still doing lots of other art projects. Kirsty Turpey's still got, she's just finished the Lochside sculpture that we launched at what was the Lochside School. And we're still doing recycling projects we left and DGHP. So there's still quite a lot going on, and there's still quite a lot of projects we've still got to tackle.
I mean, they would see their role as supportive. I think to a certain extent they led in the early stages because nobody really knew what was going on and what was possible. they've done a good job of slowly handing that over, empowering some of the smaller groups and some of the smaller committees to take over and kind of manage their own fates. They've done that with small amounts of cash injections where necessary, but mostly by support. They've helped me with funding for taking over this centre, and I think it's been that right from the start, coming in as say really leading and then slowly helping people to control their own fate, to get to this stage where they're ready to back away completely now and let us run for ourselves.
The access to training, also there's been training being put on by CIS that gives longevity to any committee, giving people the confidence to feel that they can fill out all these official forms, and also using the right kind of language, I would say, on application forms, you know, recognising what kind of language people want to, without waffling on.
In 2016-17 when I met Judith McVinney, she was the very first person for our place that helped us, and unfortunately, it was actually nice, Judith went on maternity leave, and that's when I got to meet Zara Hedges. Zara, I absolutely love Zara, she's amazing, and she had big shoes to fill with Judith, but she managed it, so she did. And then Zara, she gave us guidance and stuff, because there was actually a point where I was ready to give up, lift everything, the stress, because I didn't really ken what to expect for doing all this community work. But Zara was the one that says to me, no, keep going, because you're doing a really good thing in your community and people need it. And like I said, so she was there for advice and stuff like that with me when I was ready just to throw the towel in, but she's been absolutely fantastic.
Just personally being able to sometimes say maybe your frustrations or what was going on with different things, and they were able to sort of take out the emotional part of it and come back down and say, well, yeah, you might not like that, or that might not how it be, but you know, could it work like that? And you're like, oh, it could, I suppose, yeah, you know what I mean, or yeah, that's not maybe as important as I was thinking, or so that's been quite good just to have that sounding board and I suppose voice coming back, because again, when you're working in with, it doesn't matter with the communities, with people, you know, and working a lot of, spending a lot of time with people and big events, small events. Yeah, there's a lot of emotions, so it's quite nice for somebody just to look at the facts and go, well, okay, maybe it should be like this. So I would say that's probably been invaluable.
So it was a few years ago we looked to put in our application for the Our Place project, and we were lucky that we got a lot of support from Our Place and CIS, and we were lucky that we were successful with our application. I think the Our Place project's helped us a lot because it's allowed us to have myself working in this area, solely kind of in this area, and I think putting a face to the organisation as well helps people in the community, because they become familiar to the organisation and they see myself and some of the other young guys that I've been able to work with, and they immediately recognise us, even without the kind of red tracksuit top on, walking down the street on a Saturday or a Sunday. People recognising you, and it's allowed us to be able to kind of build a project in this area which hopefully will become, well, is sustainable, and hopefully that project will be able to continue for a number of years. And I think that without the Our Place project, that maybe would have took us a lot longer. It would have took us a lot longer to kind of establish ourselves as much in the area as we have in the last year.
probably something that we haven't had the chance to do is to say thank you to CEIS and to the lottery, obviously. The two girls in particular that came down from CIS and worked with everybody down here did an enormous amount of work, and I don't think people appreciate how much work they did. So I think they are due to be thanked. And they're not here anymore, and I don't know if people have had the chance to say thank you, but you know, if this is going on film, then I think it's fair to say, you know, that we owe them a great debt of thanks for the work that they did here.